Hello guys, I'm Futureal. I stream 5 days a week. We're on twitch.tv/Futureal. And in this video, we're coming in with the first video from the project Diablo 2 Season 5 beta servers for the Endgame builds. This is the Amazon video. We're going to test 3 builds in here. We're going to have the Psn Javelins, we're going to have the Summon Strafe supporter, and we are also going to have a Cold Arrow build. We tested multi-shot before, we have tested the Lightning's Fury before, and those builds are still okay, nothing wrong with them. But we're going to emphasize these 3 other builds in this video right here. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me with a like and subscribe, and don't forget to write a comment down below with how you are doing in this season and what you are intending to play. Until the next time, take care, and I will see you soon. First build in the Amazon video, guys, and it is the Plague Javelins. Let me quick disclaimer here. This is an endgame build. So this is a build that's probably going to cost you, let me see here, between 30 and 50 high runes, I would say. Unless you are going like super big corruptions and all that stuff. So we're on the beta, and you aren't able to corrupt items on the beta, so the build is a little janky. We have had to work around the fact that we don't have corruptions by adding like a little bit of a weird jewel here and there. You see here we have 4 EDIS jewels in here. And instead of having Canopy Frozen on your boots and having a socket slot, we have to use a Cham rune. So the gearing itself is not something that you should follow. The items are correct, but you know, for this build you technically want to have plus skills across the board instead of the extra socket, right? Skill here, skill here, skill here, skill on the amulet, attack speed on belt, attack speed on gloves, mana per kill or life per kill, Canopy Frozen. So the corruptions and the sockets, don't worry too much about those. They will not be what you are supposed to do when this is live. But let me just show you guys what I have done. So we have a pus spitter with attack speed jewels here to give the mercenary the lower resist proc. We have Giant Skull for Pierce, Templars for Might Aura, attack speed and damage to demons from Laying of Hands, physical damage reduction from String of Ears and some Leech, and Deadly Strike and Run Walk from Gorse. And we also have a rare Bolt with attack speed. Character is using Gargoyle's Bite, Storm Shield, High Lords, Steel Shade, Enigma, Wisp, Carrion Wind for the Poison Creeper. It's apparently very good now. It lowers poison resist by 15%. You can see it here. We have Water Walks, and we're using well, we only got 10 attack speed on the gloves, but you would use 2 20s here, or even 3 20s if you have that on live. Inventory is just life res, life mana, Torch Annie, and some good skillers down here. So the map we are going to test is the Throne of Insanity. It's also a heroic map, 282 density, pretty high. So let's just open that up, jump in, summon our stuff. So battle command first. Actually, we should summon it on this side. There we go. Buff everything. Get out the Valkyries. And we are good to go. So the rotation is very simple. Since Plague Javelin has a cooldown, you cast Plague, Poison, Plague, Poison, Plague, Poison. It's just every other. It's a bit of switching, but it is what it is. So let's just give this a go and see how it does. And you got to be on top of resummoning your Valkyries if they get slapped. So the damage here is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. You're resummoning the Valkyries all the time, Varric. So you know, you should technically buff your Valkyries when you start the run, but they're gonna die, and you'll be resummoning them. So I couldn't be bothered to resummon them an extra time. Lower res is from the Mercenary's bow. It's the Pus Spitter. I can show it again. It's this one right here. We upgraded that to a Gorgon crossbow. It's normally a siege crossbow. But the damage here is actually pretty good, guys. And now you see the first Valkyrie died, so we have to resummon it. That is something that you're just gonna get used to on this build. You have to keep your Valkyries summoned, and they will die. They will absolutely die. So thinking that you're gonna keep them, the Valkyries alive and you don't need to summon them, that's not gonna happen. But as you can see, this build is quite strong. Deals with a 300 density tier 3 map like it was nothing. I'm not sure if the gear that I have chosen is even the optimal gear to do for this. I'm sure you can find other things you can do. You can do like poison charms. You can have, you know, more corruptions here. You can have facets. Like there's so many things you can do. You can even use a rockness mesh instead of razor tail and forgo some of the pierce. But yeah, it's a build that has a lot of possibilities. Even a circlet actually you can use on this. Like 2 Amazon with 3 sockets to get in more poison facets could potentially be a good thing for this. There are a couple of things that are not necessarily difficult, but things you have to be paying attention to. It is mana after kill and life after kill. Those 2 stats you have to find a way to put in your gear. If you don't have life after kill and mana after kill, it's gonna be kind of difficult to keep up the efficiency. So you're gonna have to try your best to do that, either with a duel or with a corruption. Get that life and mana after kill. I would suggest, if you're gonna go high end, maybe get yourself a Carrion Wind with Canopy Frozen, and get Water Walks with 4 life after kill or 4 mana after kill, and then the opposite one on the other ring. And then you can go attack speed on Belt, Gloves, and 1 skill on High Lords, and then you can skip this attack speed duel here. Maybe you can go for a Burrune, maybe you can go for an Umrune. You know, depending on your budget, that's probably what you should do. But I don't feel like I need to test this Poison Javelin build anymore. This is not the absolute highest level of gear you can have, obviously, because we don't have corruptions. So you're missing a few plus skills here, maybe like 5. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're missing 4 plus skills. Maybe 5 if you go with the other route where you don't play Razor Tail and you play with a Rockness Mesh. That you can technically get 5 more skills. You can also skip 2 small charms and go like this. And have a large charm here with poison damage. So this build has a lot of possibilities of things you can do, and I'm fairly sure that this build is going to work for like a 10 Hyren build. You can make this work with a 10 Hyren build. The only thing you need is a Pus Spitter. Get Pus Spitter, put in Shale Runes, get a Giant Skull, maybe 1 or 2 sockets, put in an attack speed duel. And you're gonna be fine. You can build this from 10 high runes up to the sky's the limit, 200. And I think it's gonna be a cool build. The most important thing is this attack speed right here for your character. 90 attack speed. I think the breakpoint is 89. So you need to get your character to 89 attack speed, or it's gonna feel a bit clunky in the end game. So that's the one that I recommend, and also, of course, the 100% pierce. We have at the moment only 1 point in pierce, and because we have so many plus skills and we have 33 from Razor Tail, we actually go over a little bit on the pierce, but that's okay. It's only 1 point investment anyway. So the alternative is to skip the Razor Tail, use a Rockness Mesh, get 1 more plus skill, invest a couple of more skills in pierce instead of in decoy, and you will also get to the 100%. So let me quickly show you the build that I chose to do here. So it's the 3 Poison Javelins with the synergy. So it's Plague Javelin, Poison Javelin, and Javelin and Spear Mastery maxed. Nothing in bow. And in passive, we have 1 in the passives across the board, maxed Valkyrie, and we dumped the rest in decoy to have more Valkyrie damage. So you can play around with these passive talents in any way that you see fit. You can even probably go with an Act 5 mercenary, make a plague weapon for him. But I think this is a more reliable option for proccing lower resist. So yeah, pretty good build. Like this a lot. It's a very unique playstyle. And I hope you would like the build if you test it yourself. Now let's jump over to the summon build. Second Amazon build, and we have spec'd. I'm going to show you first what we have built. We have built a summon Amazon. So it's Valkyrie centric. Valkyrie is the main purpose of the build. It's kind of a meme, but it actually works, as I'm about to show you in a few minutes. We have no idea if the gear is going to be optimal. This was something that we threw together to try and boost the damage of these Valkyries as much as possible. There are many different ways you can build this. I think the talents that you need is Strafe. That's your support spell. So that's why you see we're playing a bow. So you max Strafe, you max Valkyrie, and you max Decoy, and you max Penetrate. Penetrate is a synergy for all three of these spells. So Penetrate is your most important synergy. After that, depending on your level, you say we are 95. After that, you are kind of left with some points spare. You can play around with them. You can put points in Magic Arrow if you wanna do that. You can put in Pierce and Critical Strike like I did. I split my points between Pierce and Critical Strike because it boosts my Decoy, it boosts my Valkyrie, and it boosts my own damage at the same time. But you can pretty much play around with the points that you have spare after you have taken these 4 main talents. So the gear is very heavy-hitting amplified damage item weapon for the mercenary. You can go with Vile Husk, you can go with Lacerator, you can go with Executioner's Justice, you can go with what is the other one? Gavel of Pain. There's a lot of weapons you can use here. I chose to go with Fortitude, and then basically the only thing you need to do is check out what base did you use and how much attack speed did you need. Obviously, we don't have corruptions on the beta server this time around, so I had to go with the Chamrune and Andes here and attack speed jewels in here. But it's Laying of Hands, String, and Gores, which is usually what you want to play on your mercenary anyway. So my gear is the Faith. So I have a source of Fanaticism, Mercenary has Might, and Mercenary has Amplified Damage. You can switch that around. You can give the Mercenary Beast. You can use a Atma Scarab, maybe Windforce, to put those 2 on yourself. There's so many ways of building this, but the main part of this build is this unbelievably expensive armor right here. I do apologize for introducing this and including it in my build. I know that for the majority of you guys playing on PD2, this is going to be unobtainable, but just bear with me. You're gonna see how good this is gonna be when you see this build in action. So the rest of the gear is just like super cheap stuff, like a triple all-res IS, jeweled Crown of Ages, High Lords, 2 passive gloves, Wisp, BK, String of Ears for the damage reduction, as you know we are on hardcore, and then the Gore Riders, passive skillers, Torch Annie, and life Rezzers, life mana charms over here. So yeah, let's test out the build. So first, battle command, and let's summon the Heart of Wolverine, not the Decoy, Valkyries. 4 Valkyries. Buff that up. And the main spell you're going to be casting is Decoy and Strafe. You can cast Inner Sight if you want to, but the FCR on this character is not good, to say the least. So it's you're gonna have to try to cast as little as possible. So as you can see, this works works pretty well. Obviously, this doesn't have the same clear speed as as the top builds, but that's not what it's for either. This is a have fun build. Play something that you have never had a chance to play before. And yeah, it absolutely does work. Just keep recasting those decoys at the front. They're really good damage. So this is a tier 3 map. What was this, like 260 density? So yeah, it's a really cool build, and because you have so many summons, it's also a quite safe build. So yeah, I don't really feel like I need to test so much more of this. Very, very cool build. Something different, something that you might not have played before. So I hope that if you do choose to check out this this build right here, I hope you will have fun with it. It is something that you can build for. You can build this for 5 high runes if you want to do that. You could also invest 200 in it if you want to do that. So yeah, have fun with this build, and we're gonna jump over to the last Amazon build, which is gonna be the Cold Arrow. All right, third Amazon build, guys. Third and final Amazon build. It is, as you might see, it is the Ice Maiden, the Cold Arrow build. Let me go over the gear first. So the Mercenary is using Infinity, kind of like a standard Infinity Mercenary. We don't have any corruptions as usual, so we have to make up for that with having some crazy sockets here, but that's just the way it is. So we have some damage reduction with String and Crown. Might for the Mercenary with the Templars, and we have Laying of Hands and Gore. It's pretty standard Mercenary setup. Obviously, Call to Arms, we use playing Ice. We did Arcane's Valor with 3 sockets. Also, kind of like to make up for the lack of corruptions. You see, our res isn't maxed, but on live you would have maxed because you would have corruptions on all these items, which you cannot have at the moment. So Nightwings, Crescent Moon, Arcanes. We have Silk Weaves just to show you how we need mana after kill. I would play Sprockets for the extra run speed and the cold damage when you have enough mana per kill in this build. Mana per kill is very important. I would say 10 to 12 mana per kill is where you should put yourself with this build right here. So we only have 5 on the boots, so we are going to have to drink some mana potions from time to time. But that's just the way it is. So 220 gloves, Wisp, Stone of Jordan for the skills, Razor Tail for the Pierce. Pierce is very important. And we have a random rare arrow quiver over here. So as I said, I would play Sprockets instead of Silkweaves when we have mana after kill on the gear. The build we chose to do is also debatable. You would need these 3. So Freezing Arrow, Ice Arrow, and Cold Arrow. That is your mandatory in combination with 1 in every single passive piece. You're going to be left over with a bunch of talents that you can put anywhere. I chose to max the Magic Arrow because it is a synergy for Cold Arrow. No, I mean for Ice Arrow, sorry. And also you can help deal with cold immunes if you have a Magic Arrow available to you. Then I took Valkyrie to 19, so Battle Command will give you 20 for 2 Valkyries. And then I put the rest of the points in Evade for the movement speed. So we have a pretty gnarly Ancestral Trial map here with 267 density. Let's take a look at how she's gonna do. So Battle Command first, summon Valkyries, and then we buff up. And we have to pick this little asshole over here that refuses to get saved between games. So Cold Arrow and Freezing Arrow. So this ability right here, it does less damage than the Freezing Arrow, but I found it a more pleasant playstyle because it works pretty much like multi-shots. So when the Mercenary is up front, you just mow everything down. It has a pretty good range. It slows everything, even though it doesn't freeze them into ice cubes. It still slows everything down. And I found this a very, very good and very fun playstyle because you have such incredible range on this ability. And you see here, you also need to make sure that you have life after kill in your build. So that's pretty much what the corruptions are causing us to lose here. It's that steady life and mana after kill in your gear. But that is something that you have to be prepared to get on your corruptions if you want to play this build. But yeah, tier 3 map, 270% density, slaying. Very, very cool build, very safe build because you have the Holy Freeze, you have the super range on this almost like Ice Arrow multi-shot type of spell. I like this a lot, guys. I like this so much, I'm actually considering playing this. I'm considering playing this next season, in Season 5. Because this is a very, very fun playstyle for me. Like there's one obvious drawback to this, and that's the fact that you don't have Enigma. If you are like a mobility freak like me, not having Enigma will be a big deal for me. But this is very, very nice. I do like this quite a bit. So just make sure that if you build this build, you can use exactly the same gear pieces, except that you are gonna have corruptions. Make sure that some of those corruptions are life and mana after kill. So that's the Cold Arrow Amazon. Very, very nice. I like this a lot. I hope if you do test this build, that you will enjoy it, and don't forget to leave your comments down below in the video if you have tested it and how you liked it. Take care until the next video, and I will see you guys soon.